Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Fast Times Garage. So today we're going to be talking about something that's been seen a lot lately on the forum sites, on Facebook chat groups, regarding the prices of cars and the car hobby just being too expensive for the common person to just go out and buy a car, get into the hobby, and be able to afford to build the car to their liking. It's been getting worse and worse lately, so we're going to be talking about all the different kind of factors here that I've seen lately on all the forum sites regarding how expensive this hobby is actually going to be getting here. Okay, so we're going to get right down to it here and to the brass tacks that the classic car hobby and car hobby in general, to buy the initial project car to get yourself into the car of your dreams or similar or close to it to make it the car that you want it to be, it's just way too expensive. It's gotten astronomically out of control in terms of cost. People are gouging other people in terms of prices of cars. The conditions of the cars aren't that great where they think they're worth so much money when they're really not, because the car needs a lot of work and you're going to be into it a lot more than you'll want to ever be and be upside down in the car in the end, unless you're really not looking to sell it. I mean, eventually if you do end up selling it, you don't want to be that far underneath it and be buried in the car either. So, for example, this 1968 Dodge Super Bee. This car's listed for $30,000. It's stating it has its 383 big blocks still in the trunk of the car, but it has a 400 in it now. It has its fender tag supposedly. I mean, it's a decent looking car, but $30,000 is absolutely ridiculous. This car is worth maybe in the mid-teens or to maybe in the high teens, maybe, depending on its exact options that it does have. But still, 30 grand, that's Dodge Charger money. I mean, those are the three best years, a 68, 69, and a 70 Dodge Charger. That's that kind of money. I would never buy this Super Bee for that type of money because I can go get something better, because the money's just not there in that car. You can get a restored one in the mid-50s to mid-60s with the same 383. I saw them online recently. They're in the mid-50s to mid-60s for those. And to pay 30 grand on that car to start, you're way buried in that car. You're buried in that car in terms of being underwater in it. And it's just, you're gonna have to put 50, 60 grand in it to make it what the car is worth in terms of what you would buy that's already done. You can buy the $55,000 to $65,000 car and you'll be better off, because that car's 30 grand to start off with and you're gonna be buried in it. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense why people think they're worth so much. And it's just astounding that we're going to do this to each other in the car hobby. And for another example, let me show you this one. Look at this 73 Dart. This is a 73 beak nose. I'm not a fan of these cars because of the front end. The last Goodyear was 72, because obviously I'm going to be opinionating my 72 is a really good looking car. But in terms of the fact that this car's $9,000, it's a full-blown project car, and not only that, it's a salvage title car. It is branded. What makes this car worth 9 grand? There's nothing special about it, and the fact it's not the very desirable year. Yeah, you can change the front clip on it if you really want to make yourself feel better, but $9,000 for a branded titled car. Why? Why would you want to even ask that? I mean, that makes my car worth way more in that retrospect in terms of my 72 Dart, because of the condition it's in and the fact I'm a second owner. I mean, yeah, it's got some dents and dings and bruises in it, it's patinaed, but the fact is, this car's 9 grand. What makes my car, what's my car worth at that point, right? That's the big question. What is making these cars worth so much money? What is the true value behind them? What are they actually worth? Well, in my opinion, they're only worth what somebody's willing to pay for the car. Now that's different for options, but we'll get to that point here in a little bit here. But these cars have just gotten so ridiculously expensive, it's not fair to the common person. And I'm gonna keep ranting on that, because I couldn't even get into this hobby at this point. If I was just starting out, I couldn't just get the car I want. I would have to pick something I don't want, and I'm not gonna be completely happy with it. I've had my Dodge Dart since 2010, and look where we're at. We're in 2024. Shoot, I'm going to have that car for 14 years now. And I'm glad I never got rid of it because I'd never find another car like it, to be quite honest. Yes, it's not some special 340 Duster or Demon or anything like that. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill, high-trim level 318 car that I now put a 360 in it, but it is date code correct. I mean, technically, it's got a 72 date-coded 360 in the car. So, anyways, getting off topic here. This fastback, the sports roof behind me. This isn't a Mach 1. This isn't anything special. This is not a Boss 302, anything like that. But I couldn't touch this car for less than 10 grand now. I got this car in 2012. I got it for a good price, but I couldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole for less than 10 nowadays. And this thing is a rusted out, twisted metal, pile of metal. I mean, this car is rough. I'm gonna put that out there. If everybody's been watching my videos, this car is pretty bad. I mean, some people question me, why are you even touching this car? Technically, this was a parts car for the actual restoration project that it was to be intended for, because it's complete. I have every piece of trim for it and all the glass. So, anyways, these cars, I couldn't imagine to buy anything else at this point. I couldn't afford it. And not only that, it's the parts. The parts are ridiculously expensive. I mean, the profit margins for some of these vendors, what astonishes me and what bothers me the most is, for example, the cam lifter failure issue. Okay, everybody's been on the forum saying, oh yeah, my lifters, they wiped my cam, or they wiped the lifter. The things are made in China, made with terrible metal, and they have a terrible reputation right now in terms of, you know, the product quality is just down, but they're charging arm and a leg for everything. All the cam kits for the flat tappet, yeah, they're not, you know, some solid, you know, roller or anything like that. But I'm just saying, it's just, the prices of parts at vendors have gone skyrocketed, where the profit margins are so much where I think they're gouging the common consumer, is what I'll say. The common consumer, meaning somebody that is not making like big bucks in their life, that's a blue collar worker, and they have drive for the hobby, they're very skilled, and they can do the labor themselves, they can build the car, and they can enjoy their car. They can't just go out all the time and just buy all the parts they need all at once because the prices are so dang high. I mean, that's the kind of boat I'm in. But at the same time though, it's also the swap meets. You go to a swap meet, you're looking at some of the prices on some of the parts, and it's just like, wow, that's a lot of money for this. And it's like they go there and they pull their parts out and they show them. They don't sell them, they show them. I had an old friend that used to do the swap meets that I would go with, and he would be yelling out in the crowd, I'm here to sell, not show, constantly. Because we're there to sell the stuff and get rid of it. I'm not there to hoard it and show off for like, oh yeah, I got this really cool tunnel ram. Oh yeah, I got this really cool 6-pack intake over here off of a 340 CUDA. You know, we're not there to do stuff like that. We're there to sell the parts, but like not to put some ridiculous price tag on it. You know, there does come a point where I do see value in certain ways. Now, there are so many of these parts left, or so many cars left, that does drive somewhat value of the vehicle or the parts. But I see like, you know, like ITBs for like like an older Mustang, and they're like $7,000. I saw them on Craigslist the other day for 7 grand. I wish I had a picture. I was like, how? Why? Why are these $7,000? I mean, it had the word Shelby in the listing, but I'm just like, for ITBs? Really? $7,000? Not lying, saw them for that price. So it's not just the cars, it's everything about it. The whole hobby is just kind of like in ruins right now in terms of not being able to have fun with the hobby because it's just getting out of hand in price. You know, if you don't have a sponsor, you know, that can help you out a little bit here and there, then you're kind of in the creek of where I'm at, where it's just like, I gotta save a little bit, buy a part, save a little bit, buy a part, do one part at a time. It's not like where I can go out and just be like, buy all these parts and just be like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff here, let's do all this all at once. That's not how I work. This car is gonna take me 5 years to do because of the cost of the parts. There's no way I'm gonna get this done in less than 5 years. Not unless I win the lottery and I can buy everything I need for it and ship it to somebody that can get the frame and body done, and then I can take it back and paint it and then reassemble it, you know? That's in La La Dreamland for me. So, but I was gonna get to this next part here, which is about the auctions. The auctions are just, I don't know where to start with the auctions. They're fun. I'll say that. I like auctions, they're fun. But I think they're getting a little out of hand in terms of what you see on the TV is what somebody else sees, for example, and they have a car in their garage, right? And they're like, whoa, I saw this car, it's just like mine. But the car on the TV actually is something that's actually rare, and it's going for a lot of money because maybe it's a really rare car. Maybe it's like a Boss 302, you know? But I'm just saying, for example, they see a car like that go on there, but they have a sports roof in the garage. They're like, man, you see that? That car's going for a lot of money. Man, I got something in the garage just like that. I'm gonna list it on Craigslist now for double what I think it's worth. I mean, that's kind of the speculation that I have on what's going on in the hobby right now. People watch these auctions and they think they have gold in their yard, their barn, their garage, or they have a friend of a friend that knows a guy that has a car in their garage and they think it's worth it. They'll tell him, like, hey man, I saw this car on the auction go for a lot of money. I think your car's gonna be worth a lot. We should look at selling, you know, you should sell that thing, you know, make some money off of it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I shake my head at a lot of things because the auctions are like, for example, my in-law, he loves baseball cards, right? Loves baseball cards. Has hundreds of thousands of baseball cards, not if millions. And he trades them. That's what this hobby's like at the auctions. They trade these cards like it's a baseball card. It's not really for the love of the hobby, it's more the love of the money. Because they'll buy a car low, sell high, buy low, sell high, and they'll do it over and over and over and over again because they think they have the rarest trading card. That's literally how I see auctions now. It's more of a place that says, I have all this money and I'm drunk and I'm gonna put my hand up because everybody's cheering me on and I'm going to be stupid and buy a car for X amount of dollars. Yeah, well, that could be, you know, that guy can buy that car for that amount of money, but it doesn't make the car in your garage worth that amount of money in terms of as a project car to have as a starter, at least for somebody else. Just because you see, you know, let's say one of those Super Bs, you know, sell for $65,000, $70,000 at auction, 383 car, all that kind of stuff, and with similar options, doesn't make your car worth 30 grand as a project car. That's literally almost half of what that other car sold for. That doesn't make any logical sense why that car would be worth 30 at that point, because it needs absolutely everything, and these cars are not cheap to fix, especially on Mopar. Mopars are stupid expensive to restore, and I found that out real quick because everything's dang expensive on those cars. So, and not only that, in terms of the enthusiast and the hobbyist of this culture that we're in the car hobby, I feel that the culture has shifted and it's changed a lot in the last few years, especially post-COVID. There's a lot of different angles coming in, and there's attacks on certain parts of the hobby, not types, but parts of the hobby, and people are always at each other's throats, especially on social media, Facebook. I mean, people blast everybody on there. It's really annoying to watch, but sometimes it's fun to read because somebody goes after one other guy because they say something like this about this car and they think they know everything, but then this guy chimes in against them. It's just like the hobby. It's just like we're all like butting heads. I don't really see the enjoyment on posting on social media anymore, you know, on Facebook, other than a picture and not say anything, because if I start listing out what I did to my car, they're going to start nitpicking the heck out of it. And in terms of the enthusiast world, I don't think that's cool. I mean, there are lines to be drawn eventually. Some people think that, you know, slapping a AutoZone scoop on their car and doing a couple things to it, think it's built. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna draw the line there because that's not actually a built car. You can say you put some money into it and you put some stick-on scoops on your car and I'm trying to make it look cool, I guess. I don't know. It's not my thing, but that's just going to say, it's just like you have these different crowds of people and they all have different opinions on everything. And, you know, my opinion to everybody, like I'm talking right now, might not matter to you as a car enthusiast because my opinion might not agree with yours. But in reality here, we're all in this together. Why are we gouging each other on the prices of these cars? You know, we're all trying to have a good time and enjoy what we have, because they're only going to be around for so long in terms of because of other regulations coming in, people trying to take things away from us. I don't want to get into politics, but it's just like there's a strong push against a lot of different things right now in the government, against our hobby, and I feel threatened right now by it, and I feel like my way of life and my enjoyment of my life is hurt right now. And with that being said, also because of the different types of that, it's driving the prices up as well. Because of different regulations, people are freaking out. They're buying up cars, you know, to stash and store, because eventually these cars are going to become so expensive we won't ever be able to afford them anyways, because we're just going to price each other out because of all these different factors. So it's just frustrating to see where this hobby's going to, and it's been bothering me for quite some time, and I've been reading a lot, and I've been talking to my friends about it, and they all agree that there's a lot of things going on in this hobby that doesn't make sense in terms of price and value in anything. So we're just here to enjoy the cars. So if you buy a car at an auction, you might never see it again. They'll just be stashed in somebody's collection, and you'll see it on Instagram or TikTok or something like that in a video, but the car's never going to move again. You'll never see it drive, maybe rarely, but still, it's just not good for the hobby in general, for everything what I've discussed. It's just everything is just compounding, and we're all getting frustrated with each other in terms of pricing and value and judging, and we're just here to have fun, right? This is why we do the hobby. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy the cars. So in all retrospect here, I really hope everybody's enjoyed my video today. You know, I can keep going on for a long time about this, but it's just, those are some real key points I just wanted to bring up that I've been seeing a lot about lately in terms of people gouging people and not being able to enjoy the hobby and feeling they're priced out and not be able to get into it at all. And eventually all the newer cars are going to do the same thing. You know, briefly we're going to talk about like the Fox bodies and the SN95 Mustangs, IROC Camaros, the C4 Corvettes, C5 Corvettes, especially like the Z06. All those cars are eventually going to be worth something, because there's only going to be so many left. So in terms of that, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day here, we're all going to end up pricing each other out, or we're going to all come to our senses eventually and see that our cars are only going to be worth so much eventually. They can't keep always going up in value. Alright everyone, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. I know it's a little bit different than actually working on one of the cars here, like the Mustang or the Dart, but it's something that I had to share, and it's been talked about a lot lately in the car community, and maybe y'all can relate to what I've stated tonight and how the hobby is going and leading to. So maybe it'll simmer down, and maybe things will get more back to normal, especially since post-COVID times. But for now, it is what it is. But I hope everyone has enjoyed my episodes thus far. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for more episodes on Fast Times Garage. Thank you for watching.